Okay, chapter 2.5 enzymes part 2. One trait, one trait of enzymes is that they are actually reusable. So once the chemical reaction is finished, they do not just disappear, they do not just go away. They are able to be reused, but they are not immortal, they do not last forever. So after they are reused a couple of times, they're gone. It's like a plastic bag. You can reuse it, but you don't use it forever. And okay, the thing about enzymes is that the shape is very, very important. It allows only certain things, certain shapes, or certain sizes of molecules to bind to those enzymes. And I'm going to explain more about this later. So, first is a substrate. Substrate is a specific reactant that an enzyme acts on. So, in other words, a substrate is just a reactant. Now, lock and key model. This is an enzyme function. It's a function of the enzyme. And it's called a lock and key model is because it kind of looks like how a lock and a key works. So the way that this thing works is that the substrates, the reactants, they actually bind to the enzyme. So if you see here, these substrates, they bind here to the enzyme and it becomes like this, right? So they bind to those places and it causes, so this, it shows the substrate as being like one separate thing, but there can be several, and it causes those things to bond together in order, and so they become together, they react with one another, and by reacting with one another they start weakening each other's bonds. And so because the bonds are weakened, less energy is required to break those bonds, and so it causes the the reactants to the bonds break and it forms new bonds and it becomes a product. And later on, the enzyme releases it and the products are released out into the open and they are free. Yes, this is what happens in the lock and key model. The subject goes in, it changes, and then it goes out as a product. And the enzyme is a thing that helps initiate the reaction. It helps increase the speed of the reaction, and it helps so the thing about the enzyme, this thing is like a reaction within a reaction. It causes a reaction to happen by making a reaction. So the thing about it is not only one but various numbers of substrates can bind to these enzymes. But then, because there are various forms of enzymes, not all enzymes look like this. There are many other types of enzymes. And the thing about enzymes is that only specific substrates can fit into specific enzymes. So they have to be the right shape, like you see here. They have to be the right shape, they have to be the right size. Can't be too big, can't be too small, can't be in the wrong position. And once they fit in here, the thing is, once the substrates fit in, they are not perfectly like snug and tight into the enzyme. They're still loose. So what happens is something called induced fit. So this enzyme here, it tightens itself around the substrate in order for it to have a snug and perfect fit. So induced fit is like how the enzyme tightens itself around the substrate. And this helps with the chemical reaction and causes the bonds to become unstable. And unstable bonds then speed up the process of the bonds breaking and forming new bonds and producing the products. So this is the lock and key model. Very easy to remember because it's exactly like a lock and a key. That is the end of 2.5. Hope you have a good day. Study hard.